I'm Sharon. I play violin. This is a violin. I'm from Toronto. I grew up in Toronto. I went to middle school and high school in Toronto and school. And I started playing the violin when I was 7 years old. It was my birthday present for my 7th birthday. And yeah, it turned out to be a really big present. What do I like about the sound of my instrument? What I loved about the violin when I first got the violin was I played piano before, and I knew that there are certain notes that you could hit on the piano, and you press a button and plays the note. But on the violin, you could play everything in between those notes. So if you do something like, you can't play that on the piano. You get little ridges in between. So that's what I really loved about the violin. And other sounds I can make on the instruments. There are lots of sounds I can make on the violin. I can bow. So that's taking my bow and I draw it on the strings. Or I can pluck them, and this is called pizzicato. And I can pluck many notes at once. And I could do what's called a bar-top pitch, and this one's kind of violent. What you do is you take the string and you pull it up pretty hard so that it slaps back against the fingerboard. This is the fingerboard, this black part. And it makes that kind of twangy sound, kind of like a angry banjo. But you can't do too many of those at once because you need the time to get under the string. And I can make some fun ghosty sounds. And that's called harmonics. And we have two different kinds of harmonics. Those are natural harmonics when I'm only using one finger on the string. And then the artificial harmonics are called artificial because I'm creating that harmonic by shortening the string with one of my other fingers. So if I use just one finger, it would do that. And then if I add another finger and say I want to do a harmonic on that note, then I stop the note on that note with one finger, and then I can create another harmonic with another finger. Yeah, and if you play a lot of them, it sounds like. Almost sounds like whistling a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, so there's lots of things you can do using violin. Another fun one is you can use the bow this way on the hair, or you can use it on the stick. So it almost turns into a percussion instrument, and you take the stick and you literally just hit the bow or hit the violin with it, but not hard. So and it almost gives it like a starry, pretty color. So violinists do this weird thing, and I'm sure if you've seen a violinist play before, instead of just holding the note like that, you'll see our fingers wiggle, and it looks like. And we're doing that. It's actually not shaking. It's called vibrato, and it's very controlled, and it's a way of projecting the sound and making the sound fuller and more sweet, as opposed to, which is a very straight tone, and that is a more warmer, like singing tone. Yeah, and you can also add things, other fun things with the left hand. That's the violin hand. That's the hand that makes all the notes. That you can add are trills. So play one note, and then you can add a trill. You could be really fancy and add a higher trill. But that's a little harder to do. Or you could do, you could add a grace note. So it almost gives like a little accent into the note. Or you could do it from the bottom. Right? left hand.
Great. And can you play like something they might know? Or anything?
I think that's all I know from that song.
That's great though.
I don't know the rest of that either. I only know the beginnings of the songs.
Oh, that's great.